2 days ago, I discovered a brand new iPhone app that I just loved. I didn't even know I needed it. It was super cool, great design, worked really well, except I discovered very quickly there was a 3-day free trial and then it cost $10 a week. No. Entrepreneur brain Pete over here is not having it. And so about an hour, maybe 90 minutes later, yeet, my Pix was born. And it works well. And I'm super happy with it. And in this video, I am going to break down exactly what I did, mostly using Claude Code, a little bit of Cursor, walk you through my thought process, the workflow I used, how to navigate the payment system and App Store Connect. And it's not live yet, you can't go get it, but I'm gonna just walk you through everything I've done in the past 2 days. Probably about 3 hours of work total, complete, but the actual app, the core feature, the logic, all that stuff was done literally less than an hour, which is kind of mind-boggling to me. So let's get into it. So I figured I'd take like 30 seconds to show you what the app does. This is a photo management app to free up space in iCloud storage. So basically you can just load up photos and it goes through one at a time. You can keep them, swipe right or swipe left to delete, right? And let me just back out of here. I'll just cut this one short. It brings you to like a confirmation page, shows you the space you're freeing up. You can delete the photos and that's it. And there's filters for photos only, videos only. You can choose like time frames and stuff. Has a stats page, which shows you your total space freed up, your progress, a statistics page, a settings page. Right now it's just debug info. And that's it. Not a whole lot to it. Not worth $10 a week, I think, but I am going to do a one-time lifetime payment of $10 to compete with that. Last thing, I'm not going to tell you the app that I swiped for this, but if you were to just swipe through the App Store in 2.5 minutes, well, after enough swiping, I think you'd be able to find it no problem. You can go look at it. There's also like 6 or 7 other clones. I did take screenshots of their app for my own purpose. That's actually one of the first things I did. I did not use these screenshots with Claude Code or Cursor or anything. I just took it for myself. I didn't steal their design. There are features they have that I don't have. I had some of my own features. I made it my own, all right? So yeah, I totally stole their initial idea, to be really frank. But outside of that, I didn't actually like clone the app. I made sure of that. I didn't want to like violate any like, you know, break any laws or whatnot. But alas, let's get into it. So after I used this other app for like a day and I wanted to like duplicate it, I prompted Claude Code to set up the Flutter project. That's it. Just install a new project. I came up with a name. It just sounded silly and funny, and I hope it gets approved on the App Store. I don't know if it will or not, but that's it. Just set up the Flutter project. Why Flutter, by the way? Because I've used it before. If I ever wanted to try and adapt this cross-platform, like for Android, in addition to iOS, which is what I'm starting with, I could do that pretty easily there. I don't have any experience with Swift, and I hate Xcode, and yeah. Flutter it is, super easy, made by Google. I understand Dart a little bit, we're good there. So next up, created the plan for the core features. So here's one of your takeaways. I don't like Claude Code planning mode anymore. I use it almost exclusively for every new feature I did for like a month there. And just within the past 2 or 3 weeks, it's so slow. Like it's 3 times slower than it used to be. I don't really know why, what they did differently, eats up a lot of tokens, and I haven't seen that much benefit to it. Here's what I do instead. And I've talked about this in other videos before. I do a specific planning session, planning mode or not, doesn't matter to me. But the end result of that is a context document. I just use a markdown file. I think I called it plan.md. I actually deleted it. I have other markdown documents now in my project base here, like pricing MD. I keep these and I keep updating them when I do AI coding sessions. This is nice for a couple of reasons. Number one, I can spend a little bit of tokens, I can spend a little bit of time coming up with a plan, but then I don't have to do it the second time. And then I update it a little bit as I go on. It's like a persistent plan. You could do this in your claude.md file. I usually don't. I try to keep those with like less than 100 lines of code, which basically just says like some user preferences or whatnot. No, I try and keep like a context folder and then some markdown files in there with different context, right? And I keep them updated. I don't do Claude Code planning mode at the moment, right? It just hasn't worked well. Claude Code sub agent, I have created one and I'm not a big fan. I don't like sub agents. They haven't done their job, really. I've tried like 8 different ones over the past like 3-6 months or whatnot. The only one I created for this one was a context doc updater. So I used Claude Code to create it with the like sub agents menu, right? And basically it just updates these documents right here and the claude.md file. So I wanted to do very brief notes. I wanted to keep these files under 300 lines of code. I have some other specifications like that. And so now in every little session that I do in Claude Code, I usually end by tagging that thing, that sub agent, which is context. I usually just type out doc and it whips open this guy right here and I just tag this sub agent and it runs it. It doesn't do it automatically 9 out of 10 times, which is a little frustrating. So I'm not a big fan of sub agents right now. Haven't seen them to be super beneficial. Some people disagree and I want to keep trying them, but whatever. So overall workflow for building this core feature, which was, by the way, the actual like loading up image libraries and loading up 10 random photos, 25 random photos, loading up a specific time frame of photos, swiping left or right to keep or delete, adding a confirmation button, adding an undo button. This was literally the easiest part of this entire process. This was done within an hour. I had an app on my phone that did what my competitor app was going to do less than an hour, which is nuts. I don't know where I'm going for this screen. Forgive me here. But the rest of it, not so complicated. The app was done within an hour, but let me get into some other things that I did. Workflow, again, I don't know why I'm showing myself right here. Okay, I already said this. Not in plan mode, just takes too long. I end with that docs subagent. I also clear a lot. I start fresh a lot. And part of the reason I am able to do this, first of all, it's always good to keep your context window as small as humanly possible, right? To zoom in on narrow features, narrow fixes, narrow bugs, all that sort of stuff. Part of the reason I'm able to do this is because I maintain a couple of different context markdown files through the various phases of building things. Again, I already deleted phase 1. I shouldn't have. I should have archived it. That's what I usually do, by the way. I usually have an archive folder in here. I'm just going to create one right now. Archive. And I make sure to ignore that in here. Archive. Save that. And then I usually just drag and drop my old markdown files in there. Context, I leave tracked by Git just because some people swear that Claude Code ignores all the git ignore files and folders. I don't know. I've seen it kind of do both ways, if that makes any sense. But anyways, I accidentally deleted it, sorry. I clear a lot. Cursor with Composer 1, I do use I pay for Cursor. The cheapest plan, by the way. Cheapest plan, Claude Code, cheapest plan of Cursor. Really quick fixes. It's not even worth using Claude Code. I'll hop in here, create a new agent, leave it on Composer 1 in Claude Code just because it's lightning fast and it usually does a pretty good job. It's not as good as Claude Code right now for in-depth logic or fixing the trickier bugs and stuff. For those, if I run out of context, which you actually saw a second ago, that little thing popped up. Where's my config? I'm out of uses almost for this one session right here. I'll switch over to Opus 4.5 in Cursor. That's still really fast, by the way, but that does a little bit better job at actual coding and fixing problems and stuff. And so I'll do that a little bit when I run out of Claude Code limits. So I implemented the core feature, which was just a joke. It was like 2 prompts and it was done in Claude Code. No planning mode, no nothing. I already had this plan that I created beforehand. I tagged it in Claude Code using the @ symbol, like I added it as context. And then, I mean, seriously, 25 minutes later, it was done. Less than that, probably. I spent way too long designing an app icon. Yeah, that would be this. It's so ugly. I love it. I did that in Canva. I spent probably, like 45 minutes just doing this, which is stupid because it's still ugly and terrible, but alas, don't care. I used the, oh man, what is it called? The app icons updater. It's a Flutter package, Flutter app icon. It's not generator, it's not what it's called, but I think it's just this, Flutter launcher icons. Yes, I used this to implement the app icons. It's a little bit tricky with iOS. Actually, mine was just iOS and not iOS and Android. It's a little tricky in Flutter, and so you install this package, you drag and drop your, I created this folder right here. This wasn't there automatically. I created an assets folder, I like dropped in this app icon PNG image, and then I ran, or you have to update your pub spec. I didn't do all this. I had AI do it, by the way, but I'm just walking you through it. I updated my pubspec.yaml file to basically say like, here's where my app icon is. I ran the little package thingy with Flutter run, whatever, and it generates the different app icon sizes and stuff like that. It's not optimal really, but it works pretty well. It does adapt to dark mode versus light mode, which is nice. Even with just this one static image, this works pretty well. I highly recommend that. Going back to my plan. Okay, local storage. I was debating whether I wanted to do this or not. I did want to like track stats. Maybe I'll have some achievements. And I also wanted to mark which photos have been reviewed and which haven't, because it's annoying to like keep seeing the same photos and then like keeping them, right? So I ended up using Hive. I asked ChatGPT, hey, I don't want to use a third-party tool like Supabase or Firebase or that sort of stuff. I'd rather just like save things locally. What's the best way to do that? I knew there were a few different ways. Hive, H-I-V-E, is the one that it recommended. It's Flutter first, I guess you could say. You could just Google Flutter Hive. It only uses Dart. It's super fast. Hive Flutter package. Yeah, there it is. It's really easy. It's simple. Again, AI did all the heavy lifting here. I don't even know the really nitty-gritty ins and out of how Hive works. I did have ChatGPT explain it to me a little bit, but that's what I'm using for storing some data. It is deleted once if the user like deletes their app and they reinstall it, then that's deleted, which kind of stinks. I'm working on one really simple API route that will track whether they have purchased the app or not. So they can't like delete the app and then reinstall it and get a fresh like 3-day grace period, free trial, if you will. I haven't done that yet. I'm gonna do that next. That's in my next steps right here. Okay, after this, it was kind of ready to start testing, more or less. I didn't do any payments yet. I just want to like test the core functionality here. I already have a developer account, and so I came into App Store Connect. I created a new app in here, wrote down some of the details or whatnot, and then I got Claude Code to document the entire process because I never can remember. There's a lot of like nitty-gritty things when you want to like push these changes live. Like a lot of times you open up the workspace, the Xcode workspace, you do the runner here, you make sure your targeted device is set, you go to product, archive. There's a couple different ways you can do it. You can do it from the CLI as well. But it's a few like nitty-gritty steps, and so I actually asked Claude Code to document this test flight guide, and it walks you through what to do, which is nice. I just come back here and I'm like, what do I do again? Oh yeah, okay, here's my bundle identifier, here's what I do, step by step, etc. Pretty handy. I created oh, and by the way, you download the test flight app, you have to send yourself an invite, you have to create like an internal testing team. A couple of different steps here, ChatGPT can walk you through that really. It's not really hard, it's just a bunch of clicking. You have to click like 250 buttons in this process in Apple to like do this and do this and do this and do this, etc. I did start the process of creating the payment system. I'm not done yet. Maybe I'll do another video if you guys really want to see that. I did create a detailed plan for payments. I want to do a 3-day grace period. I want to do a one-time payment. Can't call it a free trial, by the way. You can only call it a free trial if it's a subscription, so you have to use different language there. But I created this document, which used to be about 500 lines, but I've actually been working on it for like the past 2 or 3 hours this morning. Probably about 3 hours. No, maybe about 2 hours. I think it's done, but I haven't tested it completely yet, so I got a lot more testing to do. I did go to App Store Connect and create an in-app purchase, which is what I want to do here, and went through all that stuff. I created some welcome screens. I created a paywall screen. I'm not ready to show anybody that because I haven't tested it yet, but that's the next steps. The next steps is really diving in, trying to break it, finding the little bugs, making sure the Apple Sandbox payment things go through correctly, work correctly, lock the app, unlock the app, different stuff like that. I plan on using both Claude Code and or Cursor with Opus 4.5 to do thorough code reviews. I don't have a third-party AI coding review tool at the moment. I'm just gonna use Claude Code. Take it off agent mode, go through some of the different features one at a time, I feel like is the best way to do this. Not just like, hey, search my code for bugs, but I wanna go through and make sure that everything is optimal, secure, and stuff like that. I don't think I have to worry that much about security because I'm not collecting a lot of user data. I'm not collecting anything, actually. Everything's local on their device. I don't have a database. There's not a whole lot to the app. It's very simple in that regard. So I don't think there's a ton of security issues. But again, I'm gonna pass this off to AI and see what happens there. And then I gotta see if it makes money. I am gonna release it. I thought about like, hey, I'll make a YouTube video and open up the GitHub to make it like public or whatnot. You can go check it out. And then I thought, no, we'll see if it makes money. You could do this yourself if you so desire. You don't need to start with my code. You can build your own. Again, the core feature of this app took like an hour, less than that. It was a joke. The whole like setting up payment system thing has taken already an hour or two in and of itself, just this morning. But alas, you can go find it if you want to. I'm not gonna make it public code. So that's all I got. If you care to see how this turns out, drop me a comment, else I won't make another video. But if you actually care, I mean, I'll make another little video like this after I get it on the App Store. Maybe I can convince, maybe I'll do like a little one-time deal, like $4.99 instead of $9.99 US dollars. Just like get some people in using the app and some ratings maybe or something. I don't know. But let me know if you want an update on that, when and if that happens, and I'll make another video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Yeet my picks coming to the App Store near you very soon. And I like you guys. Not love you guys, I like you guys. That'd be weird. No. Drop me a comment if you so desire, and I'll see you next time. Adios.